Well then, welcome back to the Agent Carter vlogs. Fun. I'm Slider, and usual I am joined by Manga.
Hiya.
Hi. So this episode is called Monsters, which is maybe what I'll call the writers for
doing what they did.
Yes. But for now, we'll just go over the general plot real fast. Dottie is interrogated by what I have deemed to be named FBI Man from FBI Land.
Yeah.
But he is a failure of failures. So Whitney tries instead, and it works distressingly well.
There is so much difference between how those go and the effect it has on Dottie, and it's just so fun to watch.
At first it was a little too well, but then when she nearly choked her with zero matter, which is not the most pleasant image.
Whitney semi-shooped her, and that sounds like a euphemism, but it's horrible. Really.
Caused her to actually spill the beans on everything, basically.
Well, I mean, Dottie was terrified from the minute Whitney walked into the room because she'd seen her, shoop that council in the previous episode.
Though, meanwhile, during all this, in a much pleasant story, at least at this point in time, Wilkes' machine manages to actually bring Wilkes back to the real world somehow. Because
Science happened in there. That thing that he's in is one of the most sci-fi things I've seen on this show.
Yes. It looks like it should be some, prototype teleporter or something.
Definitely where you keep somebody from another dimension in.
Indeed. Now, because they find a new signal, Peggy and Jarvis try to rescue Dottie, fully aware that it's a trap.
So, something that my brother termed a Rusky mission. I watched this episode with him, and he was coming out with this kind of thing the entire episode, non-stop.
Now they bring their cool, magical concussion blast, cool special effects weapon. That's literally how I have it in my notes.
Just the sonic wave thing that doesn't work because Jarvis misremembers which actress's measurements are going into it to make it work.
That is the most Howard Stark way to power it.
Yeah, although he does accidentally set off some kind of incredibly time-delayed, convenience-timed self-destruct.
Yes! It's like their capture was almost pointless because they get loose fairly quickly. Even Jarvis gets loose.
I do kind of enjoy Peggy and Dottie racing to break their bonds, like they're watching each other intensely while just,
Yeah, that's not a euphemism, by the way.
Well,
they were captured.
It did look like they were kind of trapped in, Whitney's BDSM dungeon.
Oh, the fanfics. Fanfics everywhere.
Again, I expect some good fanfics about the BDSM dungeon. Although actually it's not Whitney's, it's FBI dude who fails at being intimidating in interrogations. He does do that thing of churning out an evil speech that sounds like he wrote it already and practiced it in front of his bedroom mirror first.
However, in reality, this was all a diversion. Just so Frost could get to Wilkes.
Yeah, Wilkes, who was having a really nice dinner with Anna Jarvis, who, because she's an angel, got him a table with silverware.
I like how it's just a giant table. It's not even like a normal one. It's like a full-on dining hall table.
I saw wheels on the underside, so it's probably just a lab table, but she put a tablecloth on it and got out the nice crockery and made him a big dinner, and the rated Mr. Stark's $400 wine. It's just the one bit where Wilkes is just, ending an awkward pause by going to Peggy Carter and Mr. Jarvis and their safe return, and Anna just chugs her wine.
Yes, that's great. Now, she tries to get the zero matter back from him, I suppose, but it doesn't work for some vague reason.
It looks like he can bad touch her right back, so that's good.
I guess.
I mean, it means he's not imminently dead.
Anna tries to stop her, but unfortunately gets shot. And while they take her to the hospital, Dottie kills an officer and escapes. And that's basically the episode.
Yeah,
Here we go.
I'm really enjoying Whitney Frost's villain arc, and I really respect her character, but bitch needs to die now.
Yeah.
For shooting Anna Jarvis. That's all I'm saying. Bitch needs to die now.
That's one thing I really wanted to bring up, because I really, really like how the whole story's set up in that way, in that Peggy and Frost are like basically almost sort of like mirror image sort of villain hero sort of thing. Like both have like very similar ideas and thoughts in many ways. It's just that one of them uses it there for good and one of them uses it for evil, essentially.
Which is how you build a good villain. It's why Dottie's a really good villainous foil to Peggy, because in her case she's sharing a lot of, similar training and abilities.
Yeah.
And endless frustration with the people around her, which Whitney also shares. There was one bit in the episode where Whitney's talking about changing the world, and Wilkes is just like, the world's fine the way it is. And she immediately lampshades, says the black man to the woman in 1940s America. Yeah,
Yeah.
the world is just fine.
Yeah. That was pretty great. And I do appreciate any story that is about prejudice, and still has a character who's against that prejudice, but is also a crazy, insane person. And then you have the good girl in this case, who's also against that prejudice, but is not insane.
Yeah,
I like that.
I'm really glad we've got Peggy and Wilkes, discussing and deal with that issue, because they're also, occasionally you get some stories where, like, someone is hurt and twisted by prejudice into being a villain, but they seem to be the only person with issue with it, and it just makes it seem like, oh, you're a villain if you're annoyed at sexism, for example, just to pick an example completely out of the air that is never used horribly ever.
And it's not brought up in this series at all.
Oh yeah, it's something that Peggy and Dottie actively face. It's something that Dottie and later Natasha's Black Widow training actively emphasizes, using the stereotype of being a weak and fragile woman to get around your enemies, to fool them. So it's one of the reasons Dottie, I think, is completely unintimidated by FBI dude, because he's exactly the kind of interrogator she's been trained to withstand against. Like, she's completely, she mentions burning her own flesh. She's both mentally and physically prepared for this kind of interrogation, which is why she doesn't even try, she doesn't even pretend, she doesn't even play a little. She's just like, yep, hurry up, show off the pliers. She kind of got a face there where I would fully expected her to kill him with those pliers sometime during the course of the episode. But, then the second Whitney walks into the room, Dottie is immediately, like, I think she's genuinely scared, but she's really playing up the helplessness and the sympathy. And she's playing that hard because she's actually legitimately threatened by Whitney.
Yes.
Because, she's been trained for pliers and wire and fire and other rhyming torture devices, but she's not been trained for zero matter. And that shit is terrifying, and we get a really horrific look at the kind of control Whitney now has.
Indeed. I will say, I didn't enjoy this episode quite as much as most of the other ones this season, and I blame it entirely on the recap, which kind of
yeah, see, I skipped that, so I'm
me.
not aware of how bad this recap is, but
It's kind of interesting. I've never seen this done before, in which about 5 to 10 seconds of a recap actively severely hurts an episode before. Okay, so last episode you had the whole scene with Sousa and Peggy, and they're talking about the fiance and such, and then leads to this weird almost kiss thing. Well, it's so much worse in the recap, because it's literally like, wait a minute, what What do you mean she wants to break up with you? Immediately he goes to the fake kiss. It is so bad. It kind of broke me a little. I'm like, okay, I'm done. I'm done now with this stupid. And here's where my rant comes in, because I was thinking, like, I'm sure there'll be some debate. Like, I think there'll be, because it's the internet, I'm sure there'll be people thinking and ranting and arguing about whether this whole Carter romance thing is, with these guys, is a bad idea because strong female character trademark. And I hope no one wastes their time, because the answer is really simple. It sucks. The story sucks. It is not a worthwhile addition to the story, regardless, and it has not earned anyone expending thought over it. The fucking end. It sucks.
One of the reasons I don't actually interact that much with the Agent Carter fandom at large. I love this show, but it's very hard to find parts of the fandom that don't get mixed up in very ugly shipping wars. Because, Peggy's shipped with everybody under the sun. Just within the show alone, got people shipping her with Angie, Dottie, Whitney now, of course, Howard, Sousa, Thompson, for some reason, Wilkes, Jarvis and Anna, Rose, people shipping her with everybody, and and the shipping wars just get quite ugly sometimes. So, we're kind of staying out of it because, honest to God, who Peggy ends up banging is the least interesting possible part of this show.
Yes.
I'll say, the moment where Wilkes' machine works and he's physical, I immediately start joking, hey, they can bang now, and within half a second he's kissing her.
Actually, there was this dumb scene in a recent episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I saw that was basically like, that sort of like, the classic, like, it was sort of like a couple that had broken up, and like one of them's like, I don't trust you, but I wish I did. Immediately cuts them making out.
Oh my goodness.
Stop writing romance stories. I like romance stories, but so many people are terrible at them.
I'm not up to date on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because I kind of lost interest during Season 2. Although I have heard that apparently they did a thing recently with Madame Mask, so maybe that's not who Whitney Frost is.
Actually, here's the fun thing. The episode I literally just watched actually had some flashback scenes with Peggy.
That is like the only thing you could have said that would actually make me interested in watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. again. I need to catch up on that.
I will say the current story is actually pretty good. It's not like amazing, but the show's been like pretty enjoyable to watch lately, whereas like during most of season 1 it was like half enjoyable, half boring trying to get through it. But like the last 2 episodes I've watched been pretty fun. So like I said before, world's slowest improving series.
But I am looking forward to finding out exactly who Whitney Frost's meant to be, if she's not an entirely original villain, which would be cool, because I know they have 1,000 years of comics canon to draw from, but I am interested to see her full-on supervillain flowering, which is presumably what's going to happen in the finale, because she's quite ready for that now. She's pulling out all the acting skills to sob on camera about her husband's tragic and mysterious death, which gives her an excuse to wear veils all the time now. Very handy. She's apparently banging that mob boss now or something. I don't know.
Yes! That was fun. That was maybe my favorite part of the episode. Joseph Manfredi.
Okay, you live in the US. Has anyone ever actually talked like that? He sounds the most...
Maybe back then.
He sounds more like a stereotypical New York gangster than anyone I've ever heard, including in Godfather movies.
He is amazing.
I've never heard anyone sound so stereotypically New York. Or New York.
Like he is just having the time of his life in his new role. He is so happy to be working with her.
He's quite happy dragging to this hot, crazy lady who's maybe going to blow people up or not. I don't know if he knows what he's in for, but...
Also, he did something impressive in that he did a joke that was vaguely racist-related, and it actually made me laugh. And he's like, no offense, Doc, and he just rolls his eyes at Doc. Like, he's such a fun asshole. This guy's great.
He's such a caricature. It's ridiculous. And it does mean that, as much as he is funny as a caricature, you're also not going to shed any tears when he gets killed, which, I'm anticipating. I did also laugh at Peggy calling Susan. He's playing it off as a phone call from Mum because a sinister FBI dude is in the room. That was,
Yeah.
I don't know why I found that funny, but I always find that kind of facade funny, and the bit where Jarvis goes, "Who, me? Oh, I'm just a distraction, so Peggy can hit the guy." Again,
Yeah, I
I've
always
seen
love that
every iteration of that, and it never doesn't.
Another line I really liked is, this might just save our bacon. Good. I quite fancy my bacon. That's just one of those lines I just want to say out of context. Good. I quite fancy my bacon.
I'm also entertained by the fact that Jarvis unironically used the phrase sticky wicket. I've never heard anyone unironically use the phrase sticky wicket.
I think, I don't know who was with him in that scene, but whoever it was, I distinctly remember, being confused that he actually said that.
He was talking Peggy through the love triangle. So I think she was more just scandalized that he was actually trying to bring up and dissect her love triangle.
I like my theory better.
But, she's English too, so it makes it even funnier that she's astonished that he has unironically said the phrase sticky wicket. Oh my god, Jarvis, are you a real human being? I actually love just most of the conversations Jarvis has started in this episode, because when he's not being really funny, he's having a serious conversation with Peggy about the thing between her and Wilkes and Susan, what's going on there, and what she intends to do about it. Which one does she actually want to be with, or whatever. And also the fact that, he actually has an open conversation with Anna about how she's concerned about him, and they have an open conversation with her. Yes, she's very, very worried. She knows how much he's enjoying it, and she doesn't want to stop him, but she is still going to sit here and be worried about him. I was like, is this an open conversation about their honest feelings? Who does that? Never seen that before. This is a new thing.
Yeah.
Just as a side note, I love Anna's hairstyles. They're adorable. Just the way it curls up on top. I love that so much. I love Anna. I don't want her to die.
No, not Anna. That's, I think, my last note here. Anna better not die.
I should have realized the fact that, she poofed away for a few episodes and then came back, and we're getting lots of her being wonderful and adorable in a shining light. No.
Yeah.
That's why they did that, you bastards.
I think she'll probably be fine because she didn't have a death speech. Yeah. If she had some long, super important speech when they were taken to her hospital, then she might be in trouble.
Yeah.
That's how that works.
Oh no, we just get Peggy and Jarvis now. Everything else aside, revenge for Anna needs to happen now.
Yes.
Back to the love triangle conversation. Jarvis did get a little bit gay during it. It's just between Dr. Wilkes' incandescent smile and Chief Sousa's eyes. It's
that was actually cool.
You are a married man, Jarvis. And also just at the end of the conversation, Peggy's I don't know what to do. And me and my brother simultaneously said, fly back to New York and be with Angie. I'm still annoyed that Angie has not reappeared this season. She appears to have dropped off the face of the earth.
Where is she?
I wasn't, expecting a big gay season, really. But not even, a phone call trying to see if English is alright, Absolutely no mention whatsoever. It just... Did someone hit the no homo button too hard or something and she got fully ejected from the show? What happened?
I think they were worried that there would be too much good character interaction.
Oh, yeah. I'm just scrolling down my notes. There's another point in Whitney trying to recruit Wilkes for evil science is she's talking about prejudice and she's talking about never getting any respect, and she's talking about how she has respect now, and I think it's showing an important confusion between fear and respect, which she has because most of the people she's been expected to respect are people she's been afraid of for various reasons, often boiling down simply to the fact that most cases she's a woman, they're men, it's the 30s and 40s. Bad shit can happen if you aren't properly respectful. You couldn't see me making the air quotes there, but, bad shit happens now when self-entitled dudes think women aren't being respectful. I'm sure it's so much worse in the 30s and 40s. So, she has a key confusion between fear and respect that Wilkes apparently does. Wilkes at least understands the difference, even though he's probably also had good cause to fear most of the people he's been required to respect. The whole lynching thing was still more popular back then than it is now. But, which, again, it's a key bit of motivation for Whitney, is that she is absolutely drunk on what she thinks is respect. It's fear, but it's good enough for her. It makes enough of a difference for her.
It's enough for her villain role.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot Sousa got beaten up towards the end of the episode.
Yeah, that was one of my notes. Sousa being attacked feels like a metaphor for the audience. Or revenge.
It's the penultimate episode. Of course, everything has to go to shit in every way they can. Just gonna shove Sousa getting beaten up by thugs in the middle of it. Who very thoughtfully toss his crutch down on him when they're done. It's like, yeah, they're gonna kick the crap out of him, but they're not gonna take his, mobile assistance. I'm
not sure if you realize this isn't actually the penultimate episode.
Oh, I thought it was 8 episodes this season again, is it not?
No, it's 10.
Ooh! Oh, thank goodness. I thought it was going to be the last episode next week, so I thought it was 8 episodes again this season, but no, we get 3 more episodes. But this is still going into the end game of everything going to shit.
Yes, it definitely is.
So it probably isn't Whitney going full on supervillain next episode yet, but, well, she's going pretty supervillainy.
Yeah.
We won't get to see her destroyed for hurting Anna yet. Damn it. Because that won't happen till the finale. We all know that won't happen till the finale. Unless, she gets surprised, murdered, and absorbed by Dottie somehow or something. I don't know.
Maybe somehow they'll do, like, magic chemical things that depowers her. And then at the end, Jarvis just knocks her out for attacking her.
Yeah, some kind of superpower fight between Whitney and Wilkes I'm looking forward to. I would like to see another fight between Peggy and Whitney. A Peggy-Dottie fight is always a good thing, and, Dottie is on the loose now, so who knows what she's going to get up to. I imagine putting as much distance as humanly possible between her and Whitney Frost, but you never know.
I'm still suspecting she's going to somehow end up fighting her in the finale.
3-way fight between Peggy, Dottie, and Whitney. Please. Please.
Yes.
Please, God, please, Allah, please... Anybody who's listening. I'm an atheist, but I'll pray to anybody it takes to get a 3-way Peggy, Dottie, Whitney fight.
Pray to Yevon.
Sure, why not? I will pray to the greater Tuin, if that will make it happen.
Pray to Stanley.
Yeah, actually, that's probably the most accurate. Pray to the creator, to the maker. Oh.
And on the first day, he said, Excelsior.
Also, my very last note for this episode is, Sousa's been annoying this season, but I respect that he has roughly 2,000% more balls than Jack Thompson. Because I'm still unclear on what way Thompson's going to roll in the next few episodes, because he has just been rolling over every time he's been told to by the FBI.
Hopefully into a grave.
Yeah, I'm still unsure about whether he's going to go full on, I'm a bad guy now, or if he's going to do, some kind of last minute...
Or at least down some stairs. Many stairs.
If he's gonna go for redemption, I kind of hope it's a redemptive sacrifice, because, I don't really care about his redemption at all. Even a little. But Sousa's been annoying. I can respect that he lost his job standing up to the asshole, not that it makes him much use to Peggy now, but, or anybody. But nevertheless. Man's got integrity. I'm very happy now that there's apparently 3 times more episodes than I thought there were. Unless they're going to do it in some kind of ridiculous triple bill next week. And my brother's saying something about how the ratings on the actual channel haven't been great, so they're probably trying to push it aside quicker for a new show.
I don't know. I just think television stations don't know how to put television on.
More or less. It's just, I don't get why this isn't on a more easily accessible online platform as well as the show. Because you're never going to get the kind of ratings on a TV show that you can, compared to the kind of viewership you can get for something on Netflix or Amazon Prime or Crunchyroll. Simply because it's so much more accessible, so it's so much easier for people to watch. Even if you've got, recording boxes and things for your live TV, it's still just infinitely more accessible to be able to get, watch things when you want it without having to work. For example, my Sky Plus box we can only record one thing at a time. So if there's, multiple things on at a time we want to watch, we got to choose. Whereas if you're watching your stuff on online platforms like Netflix, Amazon Prime, or Crunchyroll, you don't have to. Shows don't have to compete the way they do on TV. because, 3 similar shows, you can watch all of them. You're probably going to watch all of them because, that's the thing you like. They can advertise and support each other rather than having to battle for time slots. Which, long form way of saying I fucking hate fighting with Hola to get it to let me watch Agent Carter on the ABC website. Like, I could watch on Putlocker, but that doesn't contribute to the ratings, and I really do want to contribute to this. But ABC website and Hola are both a bag of dicks.
Yeah, I will say, I honestly think this series will stick around just because it's a spin-off of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and so they have something else to air when Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is in the middle of a break.
So far, Marvel can do no wrong.
Yeah. Basically, they just want to build this... They want to just build their whole Marvel TV thing over there. Yeah. So it makes sense to keep the critically acclaimed series on. Let's be honest, still doing better than a lot of TV shows nowadays.
So, some issues I have with Age of Ultron aside, Marvel has done serious pacing issues with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Marvel has still done extremely good with everything they've churned out for this universe so far. So,
yeah.
Plus,
they have not really bombed anything.
Yeah. Plus, they do have some tie-in potential with this and, upcoming Civil War movie. I don't know if they're planning to sow any seeds for anything in Civil War and Agent Carter. I would be very surprised if they passed up the opportunity.
They might. It'd be cool. Maybe some important thing will be put in like a time capsule or something.
And then all the shit's gonna get broken open in the wake of S.H.I.E.L.D. going down and being rebuilt and General Ross being a dick about everything. Maybe
Zero Matter will infect Iron Man's suit or something crazy.
That wouldn't be fun.
Zero Matter Iron Man. That sounds dangerous. It sounds kind of like the black-suited Spider-Man.
That was a terrible movie. I'm sure the comic plot lines were much better, but God, that was a terrible movie.
Well, to be fair, wasn't Venom like 10 minutes of that movie?
I honestly can't remember. I haven't watched it in a very long time because it was terrible.
The rest of it was just Green Goblin V2 and Sandman.
Yeah, we got 10 minutes of Venom and too many villains dueling it out while Peter Parker is having the world's weirdest emo phase.
Yes.
What was that? Especially the dancing scene. What the fuck was that? I don't actually need an answer. It's a general cry of despair with the universe.
Well, don't worry. We're close to 2 reboots away from that now.
They're rebooting it again. Why? Where's my Black Widow movie? Making movies about the wrong spider, Marvel. Like, they do not need to reboot Speed. Like, I'm glad that they're not going straight from the origin story this time, because we all know it so much by now. But
yes, I think literally everyone knows it. I think it's probably, at this point, it's probably more well-known than Superman's origin, just because they keep retelling it.
Yep.
Honestly, I'd kind of want them to just, like, pretend that the previous 2 movies are part of this somehow, like just vaguely connected.
Honestly, I have no idea what they're planning to do with it, but I'm just like, seriously, does Spider-Man need another standalone movie? Throw him in with all the other picks as like an ensemble character. Go for it. But seriously, where's my Black Widow movie? Where is it, Marvel? I'm not going to stop being salty about this until there's a Black Widow movie. Like, I have salt for 20 years.
Mountain of salt.
Enough salt to pay the Roman army.
Enough salt for all of McDonald's fries for an entire week.
I didn't think anything resembling real food, and not even real salt, came into contact with McDonald's food.
That is true, otherwise the world's salt supply would be pretty low.
But we got wildly off track of Agent Carter in that conversation. Well, not wildly, I mean, we're still talking Marvel and Agent Carter's place in it, but I do hope they keep this going and don't keep whining ratings to drop it and just make it more internationally accessible.
Yes. I mostly just want more Angie.
Everybody wants more Angie. Well, now we've got 3 more episodes for her to reappear instead of just 1, so I'm still kind of hoping they will end up having to go back to New York for reasons at some point, and that's when she'll reappear.
Yeah.
I can dream.
I just realized I don't even know what it would be called. Would it be called Peg G.
Oh, it's called Cartonelli because it's Angie Martinelli and Peggy Carter. I think people figured the names
Okay.
Peggy and Angie don't work so well together, but somebody hit on Cartonelli and it got quite popular. So yeah, the word you're looking for is Cardinelli.
Good to know. That's all.
folks.
Da, 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 da. Stop writing romance, you
I
hacks.
start writing good romance, you hacks.
I don't think that's a card in their hand.
All gay romance that doesn't end in death would be a really good starting point.
Fair enough, yeah.